violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video. So guys, I just wanted to show you a story that came up in Atlanta. This is very recent, about 9 hours ago. 2 found shot to death. Double homicide at Metro Atlanta apartment complex. So Atlanta police said 2 people were shot to death at an Atlanta apartment complex Saturday morning. There was a large police presence at the Columbia Peoplestown Apartments on Tuskegee Street as investigators pieced together what happened. Police said the victims were a 46-year-old man and a 40-year-old woman, but did not release their identity. So these are, you can call them elders, getting smoked, all right? Police said they've determined that someone was at the home and then left. It's unclear if police are searching for a suspect, but they believe that the incident is isolated. Channel 2's Elizabeth Rollins was at the scene where there were multiple police cars, crime scene investigators, an ambulance, and a K9 unit. Rollins talked to a neighbor who said she heard several gunshots and a woman screaming around 7 a.m. She said the neighborhood is tight-knit and nothing like this had ever happened at the complex. And that's what a lot of people are saying nowadays. Oh, this never happens here. This never happens. Well, it's starting to happen, okay? The apartments are just a few blocks south of Grant Park near the Beacon development. We're right here 8 days away from Christmas. This is a very difficult thing for a family to go through at this time, Atlanta police said. We really ask for the public to come forward with any information you might have on this homicide. Just last month, a couple was stabbed to death in their apartment on Jackson Street. 31-year-old Daniel Aaron and 30-year-old Kristen McDevitt died from stab wounds at the scene. So they say it doesn't happen here, but apparently it does. Stefan Hamilton, 21, was taken into custody Wednesday in Northwest Atlanta. He has been charged with 2 counts of felony murder, according to police.
Then we have an exclusive interview with the father of little 5-year-old Kamari Holland, who was found dead earlier this week. Holland's father tells us he's been emotionally drained since the passing of his daughter, and he thanks the community for the outpouring of love and support. Our James Giles has the story.
Say we love you, Kamari.
Corey Holland says his life is an emotional roller coaster since his daughter, 5-year-old Kamari Holland, was raped and killed earlier this week in Phoenix City. Police say 37-year-old Jeremy Williams is responsible.
So remember we did this story. This is the father actually speaking out. I don't know how this guy was able to abduct this young lady, but he's an absolute POS. We saw him go into court, and it looks like all the evidence is gonna stick, but it's just crazy. So let's hear what he's got to say.
Read what you saw.
They brought him over to Alabama, because guess where they want? Where we want.
What's that?
You read between the lines.
Williams is being charged with capital murder in Alabama. Per Alabama law, Williams will either face life in prison without parole or the death penalty.
Today, I probably only cried like once or twice, but Monday on up to here, like, I'm so drained, like.
And Holland said,
and this, I mean, it's a horrible situation. It looks like they're trying to, they brought the community together, you know, they're doing the little visual and stuff like that, but it's just like, I hope that we can put together some type of political movement to get these types of guys off the street, prevent them from being able to have opportunities to doing stuff like this.
Says that's because not only has he been grieving the death of one child, but he's fighting to gain back custody of his son.
Well, they tried. They tried, but we were rocky. He come home. We beat that.
And according to the father, his 3-year-old, who has the same mother as Kamari, Christy Hoskins, was taken from him right after his daughter's death. He said,
wow. So his kid was taken from him after the daughter passed away.
Says he allowed the children to visit their mother, who was not supposed to have the kids without supervision.
So he allowed the daughter to go stay with the mother, and she wasn't supposed to have them without supervision. Y'all see she looked doped up. And this guy apparently was able to get around her and the kid and do what he did. Just a sad situation. We see a lot of times these single mothers are dropping the ball and endangering their kids, bringing all types of random dudes around their kids. And from what I'm seeing, it's defeating the deadbeat dad narrative, although I know there are some deadbeat dads. But it looks like a lot of these mothers are dropping the ball. That's all I'm saying.
Believe that the mother and the offender did have a relationship, not from a dating perspective, but did know each other.
Holland adds the kid's mother only had the kid.
He was probably the plug, supplying her on the dope.
It's less than 24 hours before Kamari was taken by 37-year-old Williams. Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor also points out this week, Williams is a known drug dealer, but declined to...
Damn, I called it. Hey, tell me I don't know these niggas, bro.
Know each other.
Holland adds the kid's mother only had the kids less than 24 hours before Kamari was taken by 37-year-old Williams. Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor also points out this week, Williams is a known drug dealer, but declined to say if drugs were involved in the little girl's abduction. Like many parents, Corey Holland says he always wanted to do what's best for his children. That's why 5 years ago, when he moved from Chicago to Phoenix City, all he had on his mind was creating a better life for his daughter, who would soon be born.
Kamari was not even born yet, but I moved down here to try to take her away from that upbringing back home. So I appreciate everything that y'all doing. I hope it don't stop here. Like, we strong together.
A homicide investigation in Kensington led to a shootout this evening with SEPTA police officers, sparking a manhunt for the suspect. Well, that suspect was found at a local hospital in critical condition with gunshot wounds. A lot here to unpack. Let's get over now to Action News reporter George Solis live for us at Penn Presbyterian with the full story tonight. George.
Yeah, Shari, as you mentioned, there is a lot to unpack, and we are live outside of police headquarters this evening. Now, this shooting unfolded in broad daylight, effectively closing down many blocks of Kensington.
So, guys, just understand this is Philadelphia. These things are happening over and over again. Broad daylight shootings. I mean, these folks really don't care. They They getting it in, man. They getting it in, and there's nothing to stop them. Shootouts with police officers doesn't matter. Police around the corner doesn't matter. You know, the sentiment and the attitude in Philly is just keep going. You know what I mean? Increase the crime rate until there's any type of real pushback. I mean, it took a lot to even get the DA to agree that there was a crime problem.
For several hours, police officials told me that suspect initially was driven to one hospital before eventually being taken to Penn Presbyterian, where he remains tonight.
Chaos erupted this afternoon near the 3100 block of Kensington Avenue. An initial shooting that quickly evolved into a gunfight between police and an armed suspect.
Just another example of the horrible violence we're suffering.
It all went down around 3:45 this afternoon. SEPTA police officials said 2 transit police detectives working another case came across a man shooting at another. Action News has obtained video of that initial exchange of gunfire.
So he just walks up and starts blasting.
As the bullets flew, the detectives ordered the 28-year-old suspect to put down his gun.
A gun battle ensued. There was a chase that went around the corner.
Before long, Philadelphia police SWAT teams arrived on scene. A police dragnet was eventually set up as scores of police searched for the suspect.
Between Philadelphia police and the transit police, this block is never left without police officers. There are police officers here all of the time, and these bad guys don't care.
You heard them. Bad guys don't care. There are police officers there all of the time. They don't give a damn. It doesn't matter. This is what demon time means, guys. If you weren't aware, this is what it means. They don't care.
Officials later said the suspect was driven to the hospital of the University of Pennsylvania before eventually ending up at Penn Presbyterian. That driver is now being questioned by police. That suspect was last said to be critical with multiple gunshot wounds. Police said the man initially shot by the suspect was rushed to Temple University Hospital by SEPTA police. Action News has learned he later died. No officers were hurt during the shooting. Yeah, and those detectives are on routine administrative leave as this investigation unfolds. Police continue searching for surveillance video tonight. We are live outside police headquarters. George Solis for Action News at 10 on PHL 17. Shari.
Yeah, complicated for sure. George, thanks for unraveling it.
Men are behind bars and charged with hate crimes after police say they targeted Asian women for robbery and theft. Our crime reporter Henry Lee joining us now with the latest on this investigation. Henry?
Alex. All right, first of all, guys, I told you about brothers. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't bring me joy to say this, but we've been hitting up the Asians. We've been hitting up the Indians. There's countless examples on my channel. The whole basis behind the Asian hate crime bill was to target African Americans because we're doing the majority of hate crimes against the Asians. That's just the facts. Even when you look at that situation in Atlanta, that wasn't necessarily race driven. It was more like religious, ideologically driven. But nevertheless, the majority of these cases are brothers. And the reason why I say that is because you know the YG song, Meet the Flockers or whatever. And they, in the song, they even had to blank out him saying that you find a Asian person because they don't believe in bank accounts. You know, this has permeated throughout the whole community, the whole culture, the community. So brothers are starting to understand that, hey, we could probably hit up these Asians because they're weaker in a sense. I remember I was looking at an interview of one of the guys who was in Paid in Full, and he was saying how back in the day they really thought Asians were on that kung fu and they could actually fight, so they really wouldn't try them like that. But like once the gun play started happening for real, they was running up in there, and that's why you have that stereotype of Asians looking over black people's shoulders in the store. And I showed you that video of Tammy Waka Flocka's wife or ex-wife or whatever. I showed you that video of her trying to go off on the Asian lady for following her in the Walgreens when there have been multiple smash and grab robberies from women who come in there looking like what she was looking like, because it wasn't like she was dressed to the nine. She was looking bummy, weaving it up, you know, flip-flops, all that kind of stuff, socks with the flip-flop. So she was getting profiled, and this is a result of other brothers and sisters who are running into stores and doing the smash and grabs, which AOC is saying aren't really happening.
Authorities say these 6 men were responsible for crimes across the Bay Area, terrorizing victims who were mostly Asian women. Surveillance video shows how a robbery crew blocked cars and stole purses belonging to Asian women sitting inside. It happened over and over.
Unfortunately, these incidents, over 100 throughout the Bay Area, were committed by several individuals.
But now authorities say they've arrested 6 men responsible for nearly 200 incidents across the Bay Area.
Dang. So these 6 dudes are responsible for 200 of these robberies. Wow.
Yeah, over a 1-year period.
All of you and your families deserve safety.
Santa Clara County DA Jeff Rosen says the men have been charged with a variety of crimes as well as hate crime enhancements.
They thought
hate crime enhancements, I'm telling you. Guys, why do you... Joe Biden could not pass another crime bill. He couldn't pass another crime bill, so he had to do something. And he implemented the Stop Asian Hate Crime bill because he knows, and if you don't think that he knows, just go back and look at his speeches, addressing crime and the perpetrators of crime, which he wasn't wrong. Most crimes, okay? He knows that it's brothers out here doing it. So he implemented the Stop Asian Hate Crime bill. And now we have these brothers being arrested with hate crime enhancements. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because a lot of these dudes do not deserve to be in society. I'm sorry. But it's messed up what they're doing, bruh. Targeting older Asian females who can't defend themselves based off of their race, for one, based off of their age. I mean, it is what it is. So they doing a crime and they got to sit down.
Asian women don't use banks, and they also made some other ethnic slurs against Asians, which I won't repeat here.
There is no doubt that these suspects believe that they could prey on these victims because of their ethnicity, because of their gender.
Authorities say the men looked for victims near ATMs, casinos, and Asian markets, often grabbing purses from car seats, but sometimes smashing car windows. Some victims were knocked over. One woman had $30,000 stolen from her. Anthony Robinson and Derje Blanks were arrested in September in the parking lot of Top Golf in San Jose. Authorities say Robinson rammed an unmarked police car, ran a red light, and then hit a car, seriously injuring a 2-year-old girl and her father inside. While arresting...
Look, even apprehending these dudes, apprehending them, they're hurting other people, man.
Cameron Moody. Police say they recovered these 2 loaded weapons, one of them a ghost gun.
The city of San Jose stands together to ensure the safety of people here in Little Saigon. We will not stand for hate crimes here at all.
Authorities say the 6 men are equally culpable and that there was no ringleader per se, but one of the defendants, if convicted, faces up to 95 years in prison. Reporting live in the newsroom, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Okay, Henry, thank you.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.